Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
Welcome, everyone. This is Steve Meisinger, your host for today's ISE webinar. Today, I'm really happy that we have Jack Crooks, the president of Black Swan Capital, and he's going to be talking about currency option plays in either environment. Jack's a frequent guest in the ISE, and he has some excellent insights. So I'm really looking forward to Jack's presentation. So without further ado, I want to introduce Jack Crooks. Jack, how are you?
Hey, Steve. Fine, thank you. Thanks
Great,
again for having me. Much appreciated, as always. Just going to talk today. The title of this is kind of odd, and I was trying to think of a way to frame this without getting too, making it too simplistic, risk appetite, risk aversion that we all hear about, but two, without getting too crazy with it. So I tried to do this in terms of kind of like almost like a handbook format that hopefully your listeners can just, take from the web when you have it posted, and just use it as kind of a general guide, because it is kind of a general guide of outline that we look at when we think of changes in the global environment, major global macro changes in the environment. As Steve and I have talked about a lot before, trading isn't about getting it perfect. It's about inching the probabilities more closely in your favor, and then just making a trade when things tend to line up. This idea of thinking about currency options plays in either environment is just kind of a framework to put the different currency classes in a ballpark and say, in this environment, I generally want to be long, possibly long these currencies. In this particular environment, I generally want to be short these currencies. Now, we never know, if the future is going to be like the past. We never know if any particular one of these is going to be the perfect choice in terms of which currency to choose. But I think if we break them into baskets, and we also think of environments, it definitely increases the probabilities, trying to get into that ballpark. So that's kind of the summary of how I arranged this webinar today. As we go through, as Steve said, just type in the questions in there as you see them, and we'll get to them near the end. I don't think I'll be too long today, and hopefully have plenty of time to answer some questions if we have them. Our disclaimer, we got a couple nice disclaimers there. We're very disclaimed, Steve. This is a look at the ISE FX options that are available. There's one new one, but we'll get to that in a second. The beauty of the ISE product, really, for the retail investor, I think, is that it's a way to play the currency markets with limited risk coming in the category of, if you buy a put or buy a call, you know exactly what your risk is. You do some other things going short, then it's a different story. But if you have a view, have a longer-term view, we think it's a great product to use for that. And if these longer-term fundamental views, this product is great because you buy a put or buy a call depending on that view, and you just give yourself time to play out. You're buying time using these options. They're accessible through your normal broker. There's no special futures or Forex account that you need for these, so it makes it quite easy. You see them right online in your broker's account. You see prices in there. Very transparent. It's not like over-the-counter options. And sometimes it's hard to find some of the futures options too on the CME. They're a little messy to find from a quote system standpoint. These you're going to be able to see. They're smaller sizes, so as a retail investor, and if you don't want to commit a lot to the product, you can get involved in this product with not a whole lot of capital involved and still make money. And this is something, if you get it right, it really pays you. We like the currency ETF products long term, but there's no leverage there. So if you get it right, that's fine. You're going to do fine and get paid a little bit on the currency exchange traded funds. But if you get it right with the FX options, 3, 6, 10-month option, whatever you choose, depending on your view and time frame, you can do very, very well with this product. So that's really why we, one of the, I guess that's the my definition of why I like this product for the retail investor. You can trade it just as you trade anything else, and Steve's the expert on this, whether to do spreads and condors and all that stuff that I don't know much about, but you can do anything in here that you can do with any other type of option. And the beauty of what ISE has done too, they've made them look like a stock option. So they're very, very easy to understand and easy to follow. All the root symbols are there, just as you would type in your stock option. You would get type in your root symbol there in your system, and you would get all the options changed for the various currencies. So it's overall a very easy product to understand if you're familiar with options in the past. The only difference, of course, is the underlying. And the underlying means the currencies tend to move a little differently than the other asset classes, and that's what some of these webinars are about. And Steve, I guess maybe you can talk to this right now. You have a new product out today, right?
Yeah, Jack. We just announced that sometime very, very early in January. We didn't have the exact date. We're going to be trading the Brazilian real, which is very exciting. We've had many, many requests regarding the Brazilian real, so that's going to be exciting. And not only that, we're going to be launching penny strike prices. The other request we've had is that a very common trading strategy is what's called a covered call for those of you who trade equity options, where you buy the stock and you sell some option if you want to bring in premium. And so many people do that, and they've said to me, Steve, well, how about doing the covered calls in the currency options? And I said, the only thing you could really do is do what's called, and Jack sort of alluded to it, the vertical spread. You buy one, you sell another, and that's fine. And you could have done that, and it's very much like the covered call, but it's not exactly like it. So what we created was the penny strike. So these are deep in the money options. You could buy the call, and sell some other option. You could actually sell a put option depending on your view. So you could get you'd be getting point for point. So you would be able to have, let's say you have an account at your spot broker, and the problem is you're making a lot of money, let's say in the spot, and you're using the option as a hedge. Your spot broker is not recognizing your hedge. Well, if you traded all in one place, and these penny options will allow you to do that, all of the margin will be viewed by one broker. So I think it's a huge benefit for all of us that are interested in currency trading and currency options, these penny strike prices, that they give us a lot more opportunity. So, Jack, I'm not sure the exact date, but I think great opportunity for all of us, and it'll probably be the first or second week in January. They're not only the Brazilian real, but penny strike prices.
Great. No, Brazilian real is a great currency, I think, and it's going to be more and more popular. Everybody already knows about it, but there's just some, it moves a lot, and there's a lot of exciting things happening in the Brazilian economy, and it's really, the key to the BRICS. So, and it's a great choice. It should be a good product. Okay.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.